Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the long-awaited workshop on practicing 4Cs in blended teaching, organized by the English for Schools SIG of TESOL Society of Bangladesh. English for Schools SIG, popularly known as EFS SIG, started its journey in June 2021, and today's workshop is the fourth event organized by the SIG. I, Sonia Siddiqui, thank all of you for your participation in our workshop today. We are honored to have the very dynamic English language specialist, Mr. David D. Perrodin, with us to conduct the workshop. Mr. David D. Perrodin is the English language specialist working with the Institute for Population and Social Research, Mahidol University, Bangkok, Thailand, where he teaches academic reading and academic writing for the social sciences, for master's and doctoral students. He is also the journal manager for the top-tier Scopus indexed journal for population and social studies with the same institute. During his tenure, he has acquired several prestigious teaching qualifications and certifications, along with a Bachelor in Secondary Education with honors and a Master's of Arts in Teaching with honors, both with concentrations in English. He is currently a doctoral candidate pursuing a PhD in Applied Linguistics for English language teaching at King Mongkut's University of Technology, Thonburi, Thailand. We are also delighted to have in the audience the President of TESOL Society of Bangladesh, Professor Dr. Saidur Rahman, Department of English Language, Institute of Modern Languages, IML, University of Dhaka, the Vice President of TESOL Society of Bangladesh, Mr. Hamidul Haq, Assistant Professor, Department of English, American International University, Bangladesh, the General Secretary of TESOL Society of Bangladesh, Dr. Saida Farzana Hafsa, Assistant Professor, University of Liberal Arts, Bangladesh, and the honorable members of the Central Governing Committee of TESOL Society of Bangladesh. I would like to request our audiences to write your questions regarding the workshop in the Zoom chat box. There will be a question-answer session at the end of the workshop, where we will try to reach to your queries. Without any further ado, I would like to invite Mr. David D. Perrodin to conduct the workshop. Sir, the floor is yours.
Wow, I like how you introduced me. The dynamic. Wow, the dynamic. My goodness, you introduced me so well. I am sure I will not live up to your expectations.
Pleasure is all ours, sir. Pleasure is all ours.
So, okay. You know, I have been all over the world, but I have never been to your country. So I'm hoping that after this pandemic is over, someone will invite me. I really am.
Sure, absolutely. We are just hoping the same thing. Inshallah.
Okay. Look, everyone, we have 90 minutes. So what I would like to do, I would like for this to be a little more interactive. I'm going to present, of course, but you do not want to listen to me just talk on and on and on for 90 minutes. So I'm going to speak a little bit and then I will stop and I will invite you to ask questions. That's how I like to do things. I like a little more interaction. So, and also, if you can turn on your cameras, that would help me. If it is all possible, if I can see your faces as much as possible. Now, Sonia, I know you're busy, so I will excuse you. But the participants, please, if I can see your lovely faces, then I do not feel so alone. You know, in Thailand, it is 8:10 p.m. And, you know, I've done all the housework, taking care of my wife. So You know, I'm sitting in my office alone, so I would like to see your faces. Okay, let's get going here. And if anyone types a question into the chat box during my presentation, I will answer it. Don't worry. We just want to be relaxed, okay? I appreciate you being here. So let's sort of relax a little bit. All right, let's go. I was asked to share to share a presentation about practicing the 4 C's in blended teaching. Well, you know, the truth is, over the past year and a half, or for sure the past year and a half, everyone in the world has been doing some form of blended teaching. And over the past year, especially, or the past 14 months, most people in the world have been doing strictly virtual or online teaching. So I find it a little funny that even though I have been teaching for a long time, 15 years of teaching English in Southeast Asia, 15 years, 15. Oh my goodness, 15 years. And I find that even though now in my career, I teach mostly master's degree or PhD students, I still have an opportunity to teach some high school classes and some bachelor level classes. So I try to participate in as many different levels of education as possible to keep myself trained and to keep myself developed. So as you can see, I've been doing this a long time, and I do research into the 4 C's of 21st century skills, and I speak with a lot of teachers in my journeys. So what I'm going to share with you today is just some very simple common knowledge, and also I will share with you some of my experience of what I have observed, or what I have been told by teachers about using the 4 C's. Now, the 4 C's of what I'm discussing is critical thinking, creativity, collaboration, and communication. Critical thinking, creativity, collaboration, and communication. So, you know, when we when we talk about the 4 C's, most of the time, what I found in my journey is that teachers, especially more teachers who use more modern pedagogies, they say, yes, I teach critical thinking. Do you? I teach creativity. Do you? Collaboration and communication. Do you? Well, right before I logged on to this Zoom meeting, I was having a Zoom meeting with a group of teachers from another country, and we had just a very open discussion. And the teachers, they said, well, we are supposed to be teaching the 4 C's, but we really don't, because of issues, because of beliefs, because of abilities. So today we're going to talk about a whole bunch of things, and I hope I will clarify some of your concerns, and I really hope we have a lot of questions. I really hope. So, okay, the 4 C's of 21st century skills are quite simple: critical thinking, creativity, collaboration, and communication. Critical thinking is often not taught in some areas of the world, okay? Critical thinking is really more of a concept that okay, how can I put this? Critical thinking is encouraged in some areas of the world and not encouraged in some areas. Okay. What happens if our students become critical thinkers? They start questioning, they start questioning everything in life, and they become open at discussing problems. For instance, most of you watch the news or you see the news about what is happening in Thailand. Okay. Now, I have been living in Southeast Asia for a very long time. And in Thailand, Thailand has certain lay majesty laws where you are not allowed to openly discuss or criticize the royal family. If you criticize or even discuss and someone misconstrues your discussion, you could face up to 15 years in prison for discussing the royal family. So now students, the young people in Thailand, they are protesting these lay majesty laws. They are protesting the control of the government. And what is happening is the older generation is trying to stop the critical thinking, the asking questions, the desire to solve problems. The younger generation, they want to be free to openly discuss everything, but the older generation does not want them to. So even though the education system promotes critical thinking, or it's supposed to promote critical thinking, in some areas of the world, critical thinking is frowned upon because it makes the younger generation free thinkers. And if they become free thinkers, then they're difficult to control. Okay? Creativity is the same thing. If you, in your free time, if you are able to do just a simple Google search, of what countries are credited with the most inventions, you will see how the UK and the US are the highest, right? Well, the reason is those cultures tend to foster in their classrooms, they tend to foster a degree of critical thinking and a degree of creativity. Now, I'm not saying, look, please don't get me wrong. I'm not saying this education system is better than any other education system. We're just discussing, okay? I'm not comparing. I'm not saying right or wrong, good or bad. I'm just telling you from my experience of traveling the world. And the evidence shows if there are more inventions, if there are more patents, if there are more this and this and this, well, the education society must promote creativity and innovation. So, thinking outside of the box. You know, yesterday, was it yesterday? Yesterday, Thursday, Friday. I was sitting in on a conversation by one of the more prominent Indian education leaders. And he said something that was just phenomenal. He said, you know, we should be promoting creativity, and we have to stop thinking outside of the box. And I said, no. I said, what? He said, we need to think that there is not any box, that there is not a box. Just practice thinking. He said, thinking outside of the box. If we think that there is a box, then we believe that we are automatically constrained. So if we believe that there is not a box, then there's no thinking outside of the box. There's just freedom from the very beginning. I thought that was so profound. I really do. And then I said, well, you know what? I am going to share that today. So now, next, collaboration. Working together. So many societies have this class system or this caste system or this patriarchal system or all of these antiquated systems that just cripple these cultures and cripple these societies. And this stops collaboration among the students. Why? Well, sometimes students come from different socioeconomic backgrounds. Sometimes students, they might be males or females, or I'm sorry, other genders. We have to understand that this is a global discussion. So if I say something that might make you uncomfortable, I'm not trying to offend you. I'm just trying to let you know that some countries, they see more than just two genders, okay? I'm not taking any stand. Please don't think that I am. I'm just communicating to you from a global way of thinking, okay? So if we have students in our class that it might be males and females, or maybe people from other persuasions, they might not be able to collaborate because of their way of thinking. They might think, well, males are superior to females, more wealthy families are superior to less wealthy families. So we will go into little details about collaboration and communication. Oh my goodness, communication. I love dealing with communication. That is my forte. I am an English language specialist for the #1 university in Thailand, and I focus on the communicative part of the language. So the practice of conveying ideas quickly and clearly. Well, that's easy. That's easy. And we will go into a little detail about how to reduce foreign language anxiety, how to increase intelligible conversation, how to sort of not worry about grammar, pronunciation, or vocabulary, just freely communicate. So let's go. Let's start with creative thinking. Before we really get into this, again, if anyone has any questions, I am monitoring the chat box. You can type your questions and I will answer your questions immediately. Do not worry about interrupting me. Type your questions and we will be okay. So anytime you have questions or comments, feel free to type your question into the chat box. So critical thinking. Okay. Critical thinking is not just about working through problems, okay? There's also an element of skepticism. Skepticism. You know, because I am not a citizen, I am not the ethnicity, I am not the nationality of the country in which I teach. Students tend to feel quite comfortable with me expressing skepticism. So what I mean by skepticism is that I tell my students, look, if I say something, if I share information with you, and if you agree or you disagree based on evidence, if you disagree based on evidence, not feelings or emotions, right? If you disagree on evidence, say it. Raise your hand. Stop me. Sir, teacher, Ajahn, what about this? What is your take on this? What do you understand about this? I tell my students, whatever you were taught to believe as a child, question, learn, develop. Open your mind, ask questions. It's okay. Be a skeptic. Question everything. Because the more questioning, the more questions the students ask, the more aware they become. So again, the more questions we ask, the more aware we become of whatever situation. And in the 21st century, critical thinking is so important. You know, just this morning, I had a presentation for Filipino teachers. Now, the Philippines, the population of the Philippines is 100, or just under 100 million, 100 million, and over 10 million, more than 10 million Filipinos are overseas foreign workers, OFWs. And a large part of these Filipino overseas foreign workers are healthcare workers, they are teachers, they teach English and such. And you know, we had a similar conversation this morning, and I asked them, how do they prepare themselves to be overseas foreign workers? And we discussed 21st century literacies and 21st century skills. You know, inside the Philippines, the average salary is about 12,000 pesos. 12,000 pesos. I'm not sure how much that is in US dollars. What is it? 300 US dollars? It's not much at all. So the average salary is very low in the Philippines. So if the Filipinos can develop themselves and they can travel abroad, if they can go outside of the Philippines, they can make so much more money. But they have to develop themselves with 21st century skills. And one of those skills is critical thinking. Now, critical thinking it's easy. You know, sometimes it's difficult. It's difficult to verify information because, you know, so much of the information on the internet is kind of garbage. You know, sorry, you know that it's trash information. Oh, I read this on Wikipedia. Yeah, okay, and fine. Now Wikipedia is fine for, you know, for meaning and definition, but I would not trust Wikipedia for any sort of empirical studies. You know, sorry, Wikipedia is fine for what it is designed for, but I would not trust Wikipedia as to being an empirical study. So now, critical thinking empowers our students to discover the truth. To, you know, if our students, like I said, I ask my students to make assertions, to be skeptics about everything, to question everything. And I tell them, hey, you have to think critically. You really have to think critically. And when they do, when they think critically, they are able to confront some stereotypes that have been created in their societies. For instance, we have a critical thinking project. And the critical thinking project is very simple, very, very simple. Find something that you believe in, regardless of what it is. I don't care. Find something that you believe in and justify that belief. That's simple. Critically justify that belief. And if you cannot justify that belief, critically justify that belief, then you need to make a choice to continue to accept the belief that cannot be justified or supported, or reject that belief. And it's simple. That is a critical thinking project. And as adults, we have to always change what we understand and change what we believe. Yesterday, we believed that this was this way, but we have new evidence that has been presented, and we have to change what we believe. If not, then we would never grow. We would never develop. So critical thinking is very important. And I tell my students to, whatever you believe, it's, if you believe in ghosts, right? Provide a critical analysis. And it's very simple. And you would be surprised how often my students say, I believe this all my life, but it can't possibly be a fact, or it can't possibly be true because it cannot be supported with evidence. And it's very, very interesting. Some students, they believe in democracy or socialism or anything abstract, and they are able to critically defend those beliefs. It's nice. And it helps my students because they're not just memorizing. They're not just regurgitating facts. They're able to take these facts and this evidence and process these facts and apply these things to real life situations. But like I said, they ask questions. Oh, asking questions is so important. And as teachers, we must be ready. When my students ask questions, they're like, okay, Ajahn. Ajahn in Thai means professor, lecturer. Okay, so they say, Ajahn David, what about this? Or Ajahn David, this, and this. If I have the answer, I tell them, okay, I am not going to share with you my belief. I will share with you either my observation or things that I know that can be supported with evidence. And if I do not have an answer, I say, wow, that is a great question. I do not have the answer to that question now. Why don't you research the answer to that question and then next week present your answer to the class? Yeah. So I do not have the answer to that question. So why don't you try to find the answer, and I will also look, and then next week you can present the answer to the class. What that does, that encourages the students to be engaged in the world around them, their society, their classmates, and what have you, right? So the most important thing about critical thinking is for the students to help themselves and to help others think critically. Because if the students can't provide answers from their point of view, and their classmates, they are similar age, so they possibly have a similar point of view. And yes, Sonia, they will also collect confidence in their words. Of course, yes. People are more confident if they speak from a place of knowledge, not belief. When people speak from belief, not based on knowledge, they're foolish. If someone speaks from a position of knowledge, then they are intellectual. Okay, so oh yeah, look, everything based on evidence. I tell my students, I don't care, master's students, PhD students, when I help them with their research, with their thesis, and with their dissertations, I tell them, I don't care what you think. No one cares what you think. No one cares what you believe. No one. People only care, what does the evidence show? What did you find in your research? Don't come to me and say, I believe the sky is pink. No. If you can provide evidence, I'm fine with that. So you see, once we master critical thinking, then that manner, those habits just extend throughout everything in our lives. Again, once we master critical thinking, those habits extend, boom, throughout everything. Then we start questioning everything. We start questioning why. Why is this? And we start observing, and we start discussing, and we become more knowledgeable about everyday life and about everything. And we do become more independent thinkers, and we have more purposeful thought. I like that. So, yeah, look, can you imagine my poor wife? She listens to me every day. And, I'm talking about critical thinking. We had a discussion and I asked my wife, why does this need to happen? And I don't know, ladies, if you are married and if your husband says, why does this need to happen? The answer should not be because I said so. See, So yeah, I feel sorry for my wife's husband. So, hey, okay, sometimes practicing critical thinking might not be in your best interest. So learn, learn when to use critical thinking. Okay. Now let's go on to the second skill, creativity. Most of the time, people say you have it or you don't. No. Look, let me tell you, everyone is creative in one way or another. Everyone has a different type of creativity. And, my students, I try to find where or what they are creative in, and I try to help them develop that part of their lives. Some of my students, they can create videos, some can create music, some write well, some can speak well. They are creative, they can develop in so many different things. And I try to help them find where they are creative, and I try to help them develop that area. Because so many teachers, they put students in these rows, in these limited rows, and they tell them you need to do this. And if they can't do it, that means they are creative in a different perspective. Now, what I try to do is after I don't know, maybe halfway through the semester, when you really know your students better, you can help the students with different creative talents. You can help encourage them to be in groups. Students of different creative talents, I help them to be in groups, so that way each student can support each other and they are motivated. The students become more motivated when they can share their creativity with others. They really do. Some students are great at making videos, some students are great at writing scripts, some students are great at speaking. And if I can help them find their talent and develop their talent and put them in a group to where each person has a different talent, a different form of creativity, oh my goodness, the growth that these students exhibit is phenomenal. And I love project-based learning. Oh, wow, I love project-based learning. I really do. But I don't start any project-based learning until at least midway in the semester, when I get to know the students, when I can help them develop or expose their creativity. Yeah. So, okay, let's see. Yeah. Let me see. UMME, is that Ume? Sorry, I don't want to butcher your name. Ume?
Yes,
Ume?
hello,
Okay.
I'm Umme Sabiha.
Okay. Inner competitions with other groups. Yeah, I love that.
I think.
Yes,
Yeah.
I love that. But in Thailand is not a very competitive society. So when I try to do competitions, the students, they are so afraid of offending anyone. So what I do, I make the competition open for everyone. I say, okay, listen, whoever does whoever produces the best presentation, the whole group, we will go out for coffee. And what happens is at the end of the day, everyone gets a drink. So and they know that. So I try to encourage some competition, but in Thailand you can't do that because the people are a little jealous of each other. But in some cultures you can, and I strongly support competition. I really do. You know, one learner, that's all it takes, is one learner to create an interesting or innovative solution to a problem. So what I do in my classes, I tell my students, come on, give me some ideas. I don't care how stupid you think it sounds. Give me some ideas. And my students are open to express anything in my class. Anything. I don't care. I never say no. Never say no. And if something is a great idea, I encourage them to develop that idea. If something is not such a great idea, I encourage them to discuss with their friends and find the pros and cons. Again, if something is just obviously a good idea, come on, tell me about it. What are you thinking? If something is not a very well-developed idea, I tell them, hey, why don't you go back to your group and discuss the pros and cons, and then come back to me with your idea being a little more developed. So, yeah, that's it. Promoting learner autonomy. You have to, so many, I'm sorry, but so many teachers tried to be authoritative. They tried to control every little aspect in the class. No, you can't talk about that subject. No, you can't talk about this. No, you can't talk about that. We tell the students so much what they can't do, they do not know what they can do. We're always saying no when we should more often say yes. So, look, like I said, if learners fail, if their ideas are not that great, fine. Help them develop their ideas. In Thailand, literacy is a big problem. The Thai students, they have low literacy levels in the Thai language. They also have very low literacy and proficiency levels in English. So look, I tell them, I don't care how you communicate. I don't care what vocabulary you use. It doesn't matter what verb tense. Just speak to me. Get it out. Get your ideas out. Once the ideas are out, if you need help with developing the language to better express your ideas, I can help you. And the positive feedback all the time. If my students do not clearly communicate an idea, I tell them, okay, I believe I know what you are talking about, but I'm not 100% clear. So look, I know you're having a hard time really getting it out because you're stressing about vocabulary and grammar. Do me a favor. And then I walk closer to the student in the room, and I stand near the student and I say, listen, why don't you get together with your classmates right here and try to better develop what you want to say, okay? And look, just forget about the vocabulary, forget about the grammar, just get it out. We can worry about these other things later. And that's it. The feedback, it has to be positive, because these students all their lives, they are told, you're stupid, you're wrong, you're not good enough, your pronunciation, your vocabulary, blah, 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 blah. Come on, man, no. We need to love them. We need to encourage them. We need to help them figure out a better way. Not my way, not my way, a better way for them, a better way for them. And it's easy. It's very easy. Now, creativity is just encouraging the students, giving them opportunities to speak freely about whatever topic. Now, in some cultures, the teachers are so closed about topics that makes the teacher uncomfortable. University students, I don't care what culture you are from, university students are dating. They have boyfriends and girlfriends, even though the parents think that they don't. Look, we were all adolescents. We were all young people. And trust me, if I ask you, did you ever lie to your parents? Did you ever hide anything from your parents? And if you tell me no, you're lying, because we all do. Come on. So listen, if your students want to ask questions about something from another country or something that might be globally discussed, allow them the freedom to discuss those things in this tertiary education setting. Allow them to be free thinkers, and that develops the creativity. And, I'm saying you need to allow, the teacher, look, you could be your students' only opportunity for freedom of thought. You really could. You could be their only opportunity to express creativity. So collaboration. I love it. It's, hey, they have to learn collaboration. They really do. No single person, no one person in the world can accomplish everything. Because think about the great leaders, the great business leaders, the great political leaders. They didn't do everything alone. No, they collaborated. And our students need to learn collaboration. They really do. They need to learn how to ask for help. They need to learn how to give help. And they need to learn how to work with people who might make them feel uncomfortable. Look, I live in a country where most things are permissible. Most things are permissible. And look, university students, they have jobs, and university students, they don't have jobs, and university students, they live with their parents, or they live with their friends, or they're poor, or they're rich, or they're boys, or they're girls, or they're members of the LGBT community, or all these things. And, I like it because when people have to collaborate, it doesn't matter who you are outside of the class. It doesn't matter your lifestyle. What matters is working together. And it doesn't matter if someone is different. They're just different. They might have a different religion or a different ethnicity or a different skin color. But we have to encourage that our students, they recognize the differences and they honor those differences. And that is collaboration. That is collaboration. You can't say, I don't want to work with this person because they have black skin, or I don't want to work with this person because they're Buddhist. Come on. No, we as teachers, we have to promote open-minded collaboration. And we have to let our students know that the world is a big place, 8 billion people. You're not going to meet someone that you agree with 100%. So, sorry. And you see, the truth is, in our classes, we need to encourage collaboration. And we need to let our students know that once they graduate, once they leave, they're going to have jobs. And they're going to meet people that are different. And these people, they're going to have to learn how to collaborate. I'm sorry, and yes, it is collaboration is one of the most simple C's, one of the most simple C's, because it's just working. It's just working with people and being on task. And, it's so easy. There is a problem. We address the problem. We pitch solutions. Hey, what do you think about this? What about this? What about this? And everyone together decides on the best course of action. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter all these things that I said before. Whatever are our individual differences, they do not matter. What matters is coming together as a team and working together. And we need to teach that to our students. So what I do, I purposefully separate the groups according to skill, ability, and differences. I try to put students together who do not normally talk or who do not normally associate, because all students, they have their little cliques, their little gangs, right? So I try to put them with different groups to encourage a more open collaboration. So yeah. Now, it's students, they have to learn. They really have to learn that, look, everyone has different ideas, and they have to see that others' ideas are just as important as theirs. And they have to be able to be open-minded, and they have to be able to look at things and see the pros and cons of their team. And look, collaboration really does affect learners. It really does. I tell my students that, hey, look, when you work as a group, you will not always agree, but you have to base these agreements or these disagreements on evidence, not just on beliefs or opinions. In my career, I have had students who do not want to work with other students because they practice a different religion, or they are different this or different this. And I'm so sad for those students, because those students did not get these ideas on their own. These ideas came from their family and from their society. And these ideas, they interfere with collaboration. So I strongly encourage you to, whatever you believe or whatever you think, leave that outside of the classroom. Teach your students how to be more open-minded. And present the work in front of the class so that everyone can see and understand. Oh yeah, absolutely. I always have my students present in front of the class, always. And this generation, sometimes they annoy me so much, because everyone wants to play on their phones. And I tell them, hey, don't you think you should sort of watch your friends present and sort of learn what they do, and sort of, maybe copy some of the ways that they present that you like, and something that you don't like, do it better. Oh, teacher, I'm chatting with my friends. Yeah, I feel so sorry for them. And what happens if you take their phones? Then they don't pay attention anyway. They pout. So if you say, hey, you're paying for this education. Well, your parents are paying for the education. Why don't you maybe at least just turn off your phone for 10 minutes? Oh, I can't. Yeah. Oh. So I did a presentation about mobile phone use in the class. So in this presentation, I was doing a little bit of complaining like I am doing now. And then someone says, well, how do you solve that problem? It's easy. if the students do not want to pay attention to their friends presenting, what I have the students do is create a line group or a WhatsApp group for that presentation day. And I tell them, you can make whatever comments you want in that line group. I don't care what you say. And then we look at the comments after the class. So the students have more fun with their stupid phones commenting about their friends on their phones than they do trying to pay attention to their friends. So they have more fun commenting about their friends presenting than they would just paying attention to their friends. So at the end of the presentations, I said, hey, let me see your comments. Their comments were beautiful because I encouraged them to use their phones as a tool instead of telling them not to use their phones. Because listen, I emboldened them. I gave them power. Instead of telling them what they should not do and banning phones, I gave them power to use their phones. And wow, they really love to make fun of their friends. They love to criticize, like negatively criticize. Yeah. So again, look, encourage your students. That's all I want to say. Just encourage your students to collaborate. And some of your students will be strong and opinionated, and some they will have strong beliefs from their family or from their society. Just work through those. Let your students know that everyone is equal. We're just different, okay? Now, the last one, communication. Communication really is often taken for granted. It is. And in this age, like I just mentioned, I encourage my students to use their mobile phones to exchange messages with their friends, to make comments about the people presenting. Look, social media is it. I am half a century old. I'm an old guy. I'm about to have a birthday and next month, and I can't believe the number 50. Wait, the number 50. What is wrong with me? I'm tired. Social media was something foreign to me. Of course, I have the Line. I have the Line app, the Facebook, blah blah blah. I do not have Instagram because I think it's just a waste of time. I do not have LinkedIn because I don't need anyone to contact me. I have Facebook. I'm good, and I share some other social media apps. But look, my students, they do the same things. So why not allow your students to communicate using text-based communications? Even though they lack tone, I still tell my students, communicate any way you can. Now, I encourage my students with verbal communication, but I make sure my class is safe. I make sure my class is a safe space. And, I tell my students, I say, listen, when you discuss, just don't go off on tangents. Get to the point. Encourage us to listen to you. Always read your audience. The reason why I ask you to turn on your cameras is so I can read the audience. Like, is that Inam? Inam, is that right? Inam, Inam, Inam. Yes, Inam and Sohan, right? Is that right? Your cameras. Yes. Your cameras are turned on. Thank you. I'm watching your faces. When Sohan smiles, great. I'm doing a good job. When Inam smiles, I'm doing a good job. When Sohan does this, I know I do not understand. So I explain a little more. So if your cameras are on, thank you. You help me. I read the audience. Now, who is that? Is that Rifat? Is that right? Rifat, R-I-F-A-T? Yeah, Rifat. Thank you, Rifat. You're lovely. Rifat said, ooh, I better turn on my camera. He's talking about people turning on the cameras. Rifat. Oh, hey, there you go, my friend. Yeah. Okay. So, the thing is reading the audience. Look, if you are a teacher, you are teaching online, and when your students, when they do not turn on their cameras, how do you feel? You feel like you're talking to yourself or talking to a blank screen, and it's lonely. So now, see, and the more your students learn these different tactics about communication, the more comfortable they are in conveying their ideas without losing the point, without losing the audience. I tell my students, I don't care what you want to talk about. I don't care. Just get it out. Get it out. And sometimes my students, oh, Ajahn, professor, I'm not sure what vocabulary to use. I don't care. Whatever vocabulary is stuck up there, get it out. It doesn't matter. Communicate your ideas. Get it out. And then, there you go. They feel so much better. So, see, the 4 C's. I gave you a little information about the 4 C's, and I, just gave you some personal experience and a little bit. And so how can the 4 C's work together? Well, that's easy. The critical thinking, it teaches learners to ask questions and to seek the truth. Seek the truth. And it teaches them not to trust the media. Oh, do not trust the media for everything. Come on now. Creativity teaches them to think in a way that is unique to them. Collaboration, it helps them work in groups and to do something bigger and greater than themselves. And communication, it teaches the learners how to efficiently convey ideas. It's easy. It's real easy. Yeah, your face can express a lot of things. I like that. Your face can express a lot of things. Sure, yeah. Hey, see, who's that? Is that Ayasha? Is that right? Ayasha? Yeah?
Aisha.
Oh, Aisha. Okay, thank you, Aisha. See? Okay, Aisha is smiling. And it doesn't matter if I say Ayasha or Asha. She's like, yeah, I know who you're talking about. Just say something, and if it's close, I will respond. And you see, she's smiling. She's like, that American cannot say my name, but he's close, so I give him points. And that's it. That's what we do with our students. If they're good enough at something, man, I celebrate with them. So, okay, here you go. Teaching the 4 C's, blended teaching. Come on. We're all doing some sort of blended teaching now, or either we're doing totally virtual teaching. But do you remember 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago, that blended teaching? I believe in paper. That blended teaching will never work. Yeah, many teachers in this world were wrong. Look, I tried about 5 years ago to go as paperless as possible. I really did. I started using PDFs. The only time we ever use paper is if it is absolutely necessary. Before the pandemic, if I could not get a PDF version of the book, well, we had to use paper because some books the PDF might not be available. So, but blended teaching is easy. Blended teaching is incorporating digital or virtual and traditional strategies. And look, blended classrooms are quite easy for me now. If your camera is on, to me, this is a blended classroom because we are virtually face-to-face. We are virtually face-to-face. I can see your faces, I can see your smiles, and in just a minute, I will completely stop talking and I will open the floor to all of you. Well, not a minute, let's say a moment. So, yeah. So, look, virtual learning environments, everyone should be comfortable with virtual learning environments by now. We really should be. And, you know, like I said, before COVID-19, teachers were so afraid of blended learning. They really were. But now we don't have a choice. And what we believed about blended learning before has changed. It really has. Because teachers lacked past tense, lacked the skills of blended teaching. And sometimes we forgot that the end goal is the learner progress and the development of our students. Sometimes we forget that. We focus so much on making beautiful PowerPoints. We really do. We focus so much on making beautiful PowerPoints that we forget the goal is developing the learner. Because look, the truth is, the more beautiful the PowerPoint, the students, they don't care. They really don't care. You know, look, I'm telling you, I do a lot of these type of presentations. I have done well over 200 of these type of presentations, really well over 200. And people, they just sit, they turn off their cameras, they don't nothing. They just don't do anything. Then at the end, oh, can you send your PowerPoints to me? And I say, no, absolutely not. You're pathetic. No. Why do you spend money to participate? No, sorry. Why do you spend money on something like this? Or why do you sit through this? Oh, I need the certificate. I feel so sorry for those teachers. I'm only here for the certificate. I don't want to learn anything new. Oh, you need to stop teaching. you need to go work. You need to go make hamburgers or something. Can you imagine teachers who waste all this time sitting in these webinars just for a certificate because they think I already know everything? I don't need to be developed. Oh, I feel so sorry for their students. Yeah. See, and that's just another point of blended teaching, developing ourselves to be better. And we do. Look, you know, in some blended classrooms, the students, they feel very comfortable. They feel very comfortable because they turn off their cameras, they go to the bathroom, they eat, they sleep, and the teacher is just there talking. Wah, wah, blah, blah, blah. Okay, please do your homework. Here is the PowerPoint. Do your homework and send it to me tomorrow. And you know, the students, they had no idea of what was going on because, you know, the students who contact me, teacher, what is our homework assignment again? I know they were not paying attention. I know they were sleeping. I know these things. Or no, my favorite is when I am doing one of these webinars, my favorite, I swear, my favorite is like halfway through one of these webinars, someone will post in the chat box, please send us the link so we can make our comments. Please send us their certificate link. And you know, I love that. I love that because I know those teachers are pathetic. I know they are pathetic because, oh yeah, I'm hungry and I don't know what this guy is saying. I'm just gonna quickly go to the comments and go to the Likert scale and do 55555 and then type my name for the certificate and leave. And then the promoters are like, what? Oh, we got all these high marks. No one cares. No one cares. They just do these, they just do these Likert scales and they just do 55555. They type their name and they leave because they just want the dumb certificate. Come on, we know that. I've done so many of these. So I appreciate those of you who have on your cameras and I can see you smiling and I can see you covering your face when I was joking about quickly going there and ticking all the boxes and this is the name I want on my certificate. Leave me alone. Yeah, because you know how it is. So today I wanted to give you some real world stuff, you know, and I wanted to tell you that we're talking about the 4 C's. I'm sharing real life experience with you. We're talking about the blended classrooms. Come on, all of you are doing blended learning right now. You are. And the only thing I can tell you is, look, if you want to do well, switch to digital resources. If you can, switch to digital resources. In some countries, students do not have access to the internet, okay? But most families have a computer. Most families have a computer. They have some sort of a laptop. They do. If they have a computer, look, tell them to bring their thumb drive or put documents on Google Drive. Let the students download their own stuff, okay? Work with that. Try to promote digital resources as much as possible, when possible, okay? When possible. And hey, traditional assessments with virtual assessments. Oh, come on. How can I assess my students when their camera is off, when I can't see their faces? Well, that is an assessment. Look, you see, people are turning on the cameras. Hey, very good. See, how can I assess my students when their cameras are off? You can't. So guess what? I tell my students, hey, I make a deal with you. The more you talk, the less you write. Huh? The more you talk, the less you write. What does that mean? Well, you know, my classes, like, look, even in the master's degree and the PhD, oh my goodness. I tell them, if you turn off that camera, I swear I'm going to kick you out of this session. Go ahead, turn it off. Whoa, I don't care. Blow your nose on camera. Let me see you blow your nose. I don't care. You have something in your nose, dig it out. I want to see you. And you see, they laugh. They laugh. Now, okay, they know I'm not serious. If you need to do something, turn off your camera, but turn on your camera after you're finished, right? But you see, my students, they understand. I have to see your face. I have to. Because if I can't see your lovely face, how can I assess what I am doing? And how can I assess you? Because when I call on you, when I say, hey, let's see, who's that? Dipty? Is that right? Dipty? Dipty? Dipty?
No, yes, and that's correct.
Yes. Hey, all right, Dipty. Dipty, where are you from?
I'm from Rajshahi. I'm living in Dhaka at this moment, and I'm also part of actually TESOL Society of Bangladesh. I'm the Media and Relations Secretary of TESOL Society of Bangladesh, and I'm also a teacher at Daffodil International University.
So, hi, so
yeah.
wow, my goodness! If I had a hat, I would tip it to you. Oh, Okay, I am nothing. Dipti is everything, and I am nothing. So you see,
Now you're just embarrassing me. That's not fair. You should not embarrass me on record.
so, and you see, so now what I just did, that was an assessment. Just from that, momentary interaction. If Dipti was my student, and if we were in a language class, I just that quickly, I was able to assess her pronunciation, her enunciation, her vocabulary use, and her understanding. What was she able to communicate intelligibly? And especially when you use humor, because Dipti was able to understand that I was being humorous, and she was able to come back and be humorous with me. That shows intelligibility. Boom. This whole 10 or 15-second interaction, I was able to assess her. Boom, right there. And if you have 40 students, look, you can do a very quick assessment, a basic assessment with all 40 students every class. And that's what I do. So to do a little deeper assessment, I will have my students, different students present every class. 5-6 students present every class. They do present 3 minutes, 5 minutes. But in just a moment, you get to ask questions. Now, that is a very, very important assessment tool in blended learning, asking questions. If your students, if you say, okay, great, it's question time, ask any question you want. If your student says, do you like Bangladeshi food? They have a very limited grasp, okay, a limited grasp of the language. You come here long. Well, what they're trying to say is how long have I been here or something. Even though they can't get that vocabulary out, they're still trying to ask, and I can help them develop that question. So, but I'm sorry, Dipti is a 10. I am a 3. So there you go. Look, oh, Dipti, relax. We're joking, Dipti. Now you see, that's it. Your students should be able to relax, and you should be able to joke, and nothing you say is offensive. It's in humor and love, and that is an assessment tool. So now look, digital resources, everyone knows this, blah, blah, blah. Everyone knows. Every school has an LMS, a learning management system. If you don't, make one. Facebook groups, Line groups, WhatsApp groups. That is your learning management system. Put all your stuff in those groups. That's what I do. I send links to everything. And then I encourage virtual collaboration. I can't high five anyone. I can't say, Sohan, what's up, my brother? I can't high five Sohan, because, and Inam, if I'm like, Inam, ready? 1, 2, 3, go. Boom. You see, I high five Inam, but it's virtually. Okay, I know everyone else is jealous. Everyone gets a high five. Ready? Everyone gets a high five on the count of 3. I don't want you to be jealous. He gave Inam a high five. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Bop. You see, that's a high five. And you can do that. And that is an assessment. If someone gave me a high five, that means they understood what I was talking about. Okay? So look, encourage collaboration, encourage discussion, encourage all these things. In my normal classes, I do breakout rooms. If this would be a much longer time, we would have done breakout rooms. But I do breakout rooms all the time. And the breakout rooms are never the same. I choose the random breakout rooms. I love it. So, and they're never the same. Breakout rooms. And I tell them, hey, you know what? Whoever has the lowest English proficiency, I want you to present what the group discussed. Whoever has the lowest English proficiency, I want you to present. Oh, my English, no good. I'm afraid. So I don't care. If you want to learn, do it. Because you know I will encourage you. No one is going to laugh at you. If they do, well, guess what? I will handle that. So yeah, I do. Weaker students should be the leaders. Yes. I agree with that. 100%. Absolutely. So again, blend traditional assessments. Look, you can use technology in formative and summative assessments. I use so many different platforms for assessments with technology. You know, the mobile phone. I tell my students, hey, I haven't heard from you in a while. Why don't you do a quick, just a quick 30-second video on WhatsApp and let me know what's going on with you. Yeah. Do a quick 30-second video and say, oh, John David, hey, what's going on? I'm this and this and this. I'm doing this. Just let me catch up with you. And okay, how long, really, how much effort does it take to watch a 30-second video? Okay, oh, I have 100 students and I have to watch 30-second videos. Okay, it takes you an hour. That's 50 minutes, an hour. Relax, watch some videos. If you don't watch videos, you're going to be playing on Facebook anyway. You would rather watch a YouTube video with two cats. Me. Come on, watch a video of your students. Tell your students to me if you think it's cute. So, okay. So use these things, short videos. Sometimes I tell my students, hey, call me. Call me. When you have a chance, let me know. Let's do a video call all the time. Afternoons, weekends, I don't care. Evenings, whatever you want. Mornings, my students, they call me. And we just have a quick video chat outside of class. I assess them during that time. And it builds camaraderie. Peer assessments. Yeah, sure. I have my students do peer assessments, but in Thailand, everyone thinks that everyone is great. So it doesn't work very well in Thailand. The students are not that objective. They're like, oh, that was great. 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. So yeah. Independent projects. Absolutely. Assessment through independent projects. Jigsaw projects. Yes. Okay. Don't worry. I will send my PowerPoint at the end of the presentation. So it's okay. I will share my PowerPoint. Don't worry. You turn on your cameras and I respect you. So I will share my PowerPoint. So it's okay. To only those who turned on their cameras. Everyone else, no. So yeah. So jigsaw projects, self-assessment. I only do self-assessment when the students are able to do like diaries and things like that. Okay. Journaling. Online discussion is my favorite. Online discussion is my favorite. I love it. So, and I try to digitally enhance the things I do when I'm teaching. Look, the reason why I'm going through this quickly is because this stuff is important, but I put it in the PowerPoint because I'm going to share the PowerPoint with you, and this can be your resource. Okay, look, I use films, I use videos in my lessons, I use animation, I use so many things that is multimodal, right? Now, here is something that I want you to really let it sink in. Okay, never be afraid to explore. Okay, never be afraid to explore. If there's something you do not know, explore. Try to find it. Try to find it. If there's something you do not understand, or if there's something that if there's something your students discuss that might make you feel uncomfortable, or something that you might not know much about, learn, explore, try things. You will make mistakes. You will make mistakes. Previous slide, sorry. You will make mistakes. So try gamification. Now, I don't use gamification with my adult students, but gamification is fine when, with secondary students. Gamification with bachelor students, yeah, I don't know about that. You can maybe first year, but after that, I don't know. Gamification, unless it's something specifically based on the topic. So explore. Look, I use gamification. I use all these things, but I have to explore, because the truth is, some things I don't know how to use, but I try it. I try, and if I make mistakes, like look, two years ago, I bet you most of you never knew what a Zoom was. You never knew what a WebEx was, and you might have heard about these other applications, but come on, people never knew. And I don't know, the first few times I used Zoom, I made mistakes. How do you share the screen again? What's that? Share the screen? And I felt so stupid, because this 12-year-old kid can do it and I can't do it. But I learned, and now I'm pretty good with Zoom. I'm pretty good with WebEx. I'm pretty good with all these things. It's because I explored. So, effective teaching, effective blended teaching, it just all depends on experimentation. Try things, learn things. Just, if you make mistakes, no one cares. No one is going to die if you mess up a Zoom presentation. Come on, and so just try, explore, try, take risks. And again, if there's any doubt about what works, ask your students. They know more than we do about all this social media stuff. They know more than us. If you say, I think we should use the Line app, my students like, what? No, we use WhatsApp. Okay, or my Chinese students, we use WeChat. Okay, or we want a Facebook group. Okay, whatever you want, let's do it. You make it and I participate. You make it and I participate. And I don't make Facebook groups. I tell my students, hey, listen, please put together this Facebook group. And if you do that for me, I will buy you a drink, a cup of coffee or chocolate or whatever. Yeah. Ooh, bribery. Hey, I love it. I'm sorry. Not bribery. Reward system. Reward system. Yeah. Reward system. Yeah. So I do it all the time. Man, I hate teachers who tell students, do this for me, do this for me. And they don't even say thank you. Jerks. But I ask my students, hey, could you do this for me? And when they do it, I make a big deal. Oh, thank you. So-and-so made this, so-and-so did this. Hey, look here. Why don't you run down to the coffee shop downstairs, and why don't you get yourself something to drink? Yeah, sure. Why not? In front of the whole class. You help me, I praise you. So here you go. This is it right here. Don't limit a child to your own learning, for he was born in another time. Generation Z learns differently from some of us old people. Now, I see some of us here, I'm not going to say anything about women, but I see some men have the gray hair, you know, and that means, that means that we are mature. That means that sometimes we don't understand social media like we would like to. But Generation Z knows everything. Generation Y knows everything. Generation X knows everything. No, Generation X doesn't know anything. I'm Generation X. I don't know anything. But you know, Generation Z, the millennials, these guys, these groups, they know so much, and they have to be taught according to them. And if we use these old grammar translation methods and these rote learning methods, we are not connecting. If we tell our students, no, don't talk about this topic because it makes me feel uncomfortable. Come on, what type of teachers are we? No, remember, say yes. Say yes. Encourage what the students do well. If something they do not do well, be there to catch them when they fall. Positive encouragement. Love them, encourage them. And if they make a mistake in pronunciation, if you are the teacher who says, no, that's not it, and you just keep repeating, I want to punch you in your face. You're a horrible teacher. I don't want to learn anything from you. Can you imagine if you were trying to teach me your local language? I don't mean your national language, but you know, some of you come from smaller villages, and you have local languages. And if I want to visit your village, and if I ask you to teach me how to say hello or good morning or some common phrases, and if I try, and if I just mispronounce a little bit, and if you say, no, it's this, I'm not going to want to learn. I will hate you as a teacher. So encourage your students, love them, and be there for them. So like, I will be there for you. Here is my Facebook page. It's just my name. Anytime you want to communicate with me, anytime you want to ask questions, I don't care. My wife knows I don't sleep much because I'm communicating with people all over the world. My wife comes into my office, it's 10 p.m. Don't you think it's time to go to bed? I'm like, nah, I'm communicating with people from across the world. Leave me alone. So there is my Facebook page. Messenger, I'm always available. If I don't answer you, that means I'm sleeping. Let me sleep. So okay, there you go. I'm going to stop sharing now because I'm tired of hearing myself. So okay, come on, let's have some questions. Let's have some questions, please. Questions. What did I do? No questions?
You can use the raise hand feature.
Sorry, go ahead. Yeah, sure.
Our moderator, Sonia Siddiqui, is having problem with internet connection, so we can just carry on.
Okay, raise hand feature. Raise your hand and I will say, okay, let's go. Can I be your Facebook friend? Oh, yes, come on. Oh, wait, again, is that Ume? Help me out.
Thank you so much. It's Sabiha from Munchiganj. I'm a primary school teacher, and
Oh, good.
I have completed TMTE training from British Council recently, and I'm just learning, and I have learned so much attractive activities from here, and I'm just applying them on my little learners. You know, they are
Yeah.
only 5 to 10 years old. They're so much little.
They're cute.
Yes,
Yes.
they're cute so much. And it's really very easy to encourage them with their group works. And you have actually describing about that, really very encouraging work to our learners.
Yeah. And young learners, I don't know, all over the world, I don't care what nationality. When learners turn to be teenagers, oh geez, you just need to kick them all. Just kick them because they're crazy. But the young learners, the primary school, they don't care about making mistakes. They're so easy to teach. And you say, what is this? Ear. What is this? Nose. And they scream because they are excited. And you, yes, that's great. And they say, ear. And you're like, oh no, it's ear. Yes, ear. And that's so let them do it. They're not going to change at this point. Just encourage them and make them love the language and give them a good experience. So, and yes, please let's be Facebook friends, because I do about, I don't know, 10, 12, 15 of these things per month, and you can follow along. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, come on, of course, yeah.
So it's your name on Facebook.
Yeah, that's it. My name, David D. Perrodin. That's it. That is my name everywhere. Yeah. How do you pronounce your name? Is it Ume?
Ume Sabiha. Ume Sabiha.
Ume. Okay, Ume. All right, Ume. Very, very good. And you see, listen. No, hey, look what Ume did. I asked her, how do you pronounce your name? She said Ume Sabiha, Ume. And she was smiling while she did it, because she was trying to encourage me. If she would have said, Ume.
Yeah, I like to have it because it's very interesting to hear from you.
But
I love
can
it.
you imagine if she would have did Ume? I would have quickly muted her, because I have host capabilities. I would have muted her, and she would have been. So, yes, be gentle, like Ume. Ume is my hero.
Thank you.
You see, Ume's like, yes. Sorry, Dipti. Dipti is greater than me, but Ume is my hero. So sorry, Dipti.
Right, you can choose your hero, and that's what I guess it was the lesson today, right?
Yeah.
But I really want to share something with you. I was teaching John Stuart Mill on liberty today. I mean, in the morning. So this session was so interesting for me. What? And I always try to foster this independent learning and free thinking in my class. And interestingly, before I started my MPhil at Dhaka University in language teaching, I didn't even know that teaching philosophy, education philosophy, these things existed. And we should foster these things in a classroom. Mm-hmm. But gradually, I did, but I think I was scattered all over the place. I did not know how to implement those things in a systematic manner in my classroom, but gradually, and your session helped a lot. So I will apply some of the things I have learned tomorrow. So it's your fault that my students have to do some things, okay? I'll give them some projects and it's your fault.
Oh, hey, listen, and you can tell them, you say, hey, listen, this guy last night, for an hour and a half, he had so much energy. And this is like, it's like my third time doing this today. So okay. Yeah, and this is me tired. Can you imagine when I'm well rested? My poor students.
I'm scared.
Yeah, hey, look, okay, sometimes I am called to do special classes of like 200 students, really 200 university students. And when we are face to face, I have a cordless microphone. And this is this big auditorium, right? And they set up a table for me and the chair, and they're like, oh, professor, you're an academic and you need to sit up on the stage and we're going to honor you, blah, 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 blah. No, of course not. Come on. When all of these high and mighty academics, the university president and the deans and blah, blah, they walk in and here, you need to sit up front and we're going to, No, what do? They have to find me because I'm sitting in the audience with the students. And the students, they're like, hey, what are you doing? I said, I'm sitting with you. Why? Because I am equal to you. No, you're the professor. Look, just because I know more about a topic doesn't make me better than you. And that creates rapport. So then, it's funny. So let's see. Anyone can be his friend. Yeah, look, Inam, I don't care who you are. I will be your friend. If someone is a jerk, I block them on Facebook. But, I have 5,000 friends on Facebook. If someone starts all this propaganda junk, I just block them. Even after giving sufficient positive encouragement, I'm going to start to take advantage of. Oh, okay. Take advantage of your politeness. Now, look, there's a difference between being gullible and being polite. You can be polite. You can, but sometimes dealing with children, you have to be a little assertive. You do. You can be polite, but you have to be assertive. That's how it is. I don't mean beat them. This thing here, you see it? I don't know. It's kind of blurry.
Yes, I'm here.
Don't use that. Don't use that to hit your students. My goodness. Ume, do you hit your students?
No, never. We can't do it. We even don't take it in our class.
Okay, good. So yeah, look, students will try to manipulate you. That's how they are. You have to be smarter than them. David, you can choose your hero or protagonist. We are not jealous. Okay, Inam, you are the protagonist and Ume is the hero.
Wow.
Okay, come on, questions.
Yeah, are there any questions?
Please. Hey, you have me for free. I normally charge, when I teach, I get $300 to $500 per day. So you have me for free. So you should take advantage of this. Oh, hey, question. What is the average salary for a secondary school teacher? That's something interesting. Secondary school teachers, what is an average salary? Anyone?
Anyone?
Can I
Anyone?
say?
Yeah, sure, please.
It's 16,000 taka per month for a MPU teacher. Because my husband is
60,000?
a high school teacher.
$200, love. It's roughly $200.
200.
100? No, no.
Wait,
Yeah,
one-
yeah.
200. Yeah, roughly.
It should be 200. It's roughly 200. sir.
Roughly 200. Yeah.
Really? You know, in Thailand, first year teachers, first year teachers, they make about 15,000 Thailand baht, 15,000 Thai baht. That's about $450. First year government teacher.
First year means in school or in university?
After they graduate, after they
I
graduate
see.
with after they graduate with a bachelor's degree, they get their teaching license. They make 15,000 baht. That's about $450. Some of the international schools, some of the international schools, they pay Thai teachers up to about $750 equivalent. If you have a lot of experience, you can make the Thai teachers, they make $1,500 equivalent on up to about $2,000 equivalent. That's with 15 years or 20 years experience. So yeah. So if any of you want to teach English in Thailand as a foreign teacher of English, as a non-native foreign teacher, you should expect anywhere between $800 to $1,000 per month equivalent.
And what are the qualifications required?
Qualifications: a bachelor's degree in English from a reputable university, a bachelor's in education, major in English, ESL, EFL, something like that. 7.5 IELTS, 7.5 IELTS at least, and 8 would be so much better. And a little experience, at least 2 or 3 years experience. And you have to be presentable. You just have to be clean, clean. Yeah.
Okay, there is another question. Is
CELTA
CELTA mandatory?
No. You know what? Look, let me tell you right now. TESOL, TEFL, all of these certificates, CELTA, they are not mandatory, but they are beneficial. If it's between you and someone else, if you have a CELTA, you get the job. That's it. It's not mandatory, but it is definitely beneficial, especially CELTA. Like the 120-hour TESOL certificates or TEFL certificates, they're okay, but CELTA is really the ticket. So if you do a CELTA, you're good. So again, a bachelor's in education, major in English, 7.5 minimum IELTS, and a little experience.
What about students who graduated from English discipline, not in education?
Like BA, you mean? Like
yeah, BA in English. I major in English literature.
Yeah.
So what about people like us?
Yeah. Well, if you have a BA in business English, right, or a Bachelor of Arts in something, as long as the concentration is English, you're fine. But if you do not have a Bachelor of Education, you will need to participate in like a 6-month teacher certification course. Universities offer these courses because you are required to have at least 24 credits of education to get a teaching license. So, but you can get a job and they will give you a 2-year provisional license. So you have 2 years to participate in a 6-month teacher certification course.
Okay, are there more questions or should we stop here for today? Any more questions? Okay, so on behalf of TESOL Society of Bangladesh, I would like to thank David Perrodin. I'm the Vice President, Mahidol. It was wonderful presentation, and it was it's a fun actually to participate with you. I'm sure all of you enjoyed. I can see from the comments that all of us actually enjoyed a lot. It was a very lively presentation, no doubt about it. Thank you very much for accepting our invitation.
Oh, sure.
In future, I hope we'll collaborate more. We are looking forward to more events, workshops, webinars like this. With this, I think we can finish today's event, the webinar. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you all for participation.
Thank you, everyone.
I would also like to thank the organizers, especially the English for Schools SIG Special Interest Group, the convener Imdad, and co-convener Hasna, and other committee members for arranging such a wonderful event. Thank you very much.
And we want you more and more, David.
Hey, anytime I will be there for you. All right, guys, that's it. Yes, bye-bye.